No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today, very, very happy to have a guy with an incredibly fascinating story. Kafani is in the building.
What's going on with you, man?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Just got off this good plane.
Yeah.
Good La La Land.
You haven't been to LA in a while?
Yeah, I ain't been out here in like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been about 2 years
Right.
since the last time I've been out here and shoot a video.
Hell yeah.
But I just been lately. I just been quarantining,
Oh yeah.
staying out the way, recording.
You took COVID pretty serious. You stayed home for the most part.
Yeah, I've been in the house for like the whole year and a half. Like I just been. I mean, I go to the big studio, whatever, go do what I do.
Right.
I had a couple events to go to, but other than that, I'm at the house.
I just got on a plane last weekend for the first time in like 2 years. So it was a fucking wild feeling to get back to it after that big ass break.
Yeah, this is my first time on a plane. This was my first time on a plane since January. I was in Vegas.
Okay.
Hanging out, chilling for Mom's 60th birthday, 2000 shit.
Oh, wow.
2020, I mean.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, this is my first time on a plane, seeing the difference. Like, hope is real, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then with my situation, I wasn't trying to, you know what I'm saying? I had to keep everybody away from me.
Really?
Yeah.
You got some health issues on a whole, or?
Nah, it's just that part of, like, when I got shot, they had to take a piece of my lung. You feel me?
Okay.
So like, really, I don't want to test getting COVID because sometimes I be having like a lot of, phlegm in my throat, like a lot of times.
Right.
I be having like congested a lot, so, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of, it's like I don't want to put myself in that position.
For sure. Yeah. How is your health overall these days?
My health overall is excellent.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Good to hear.
I mean, I done put on a few pounds, but other than that, you know what I'm saying, I'm good.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got diabetes, but that's under control. It's number 2, diabetes 2. So it ain't like it ain't bad or nothing like that. I don't take no insulin or nothing like that.
For sure.
Just gotta watch my weight.
That's good to hear. Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit about like coming up in the game and where you were raised and everything, just so we can get that out of the way in terms of your early upbringing in your area and in rap in general.
Yeah. I was from East Oakland, California. Born and raised. I've been all over Oakland though.
Right.
I started the rap game back in. As it's crazy, I started when I first started really taking rapping seriously was I actually was here in LA and on Burbank. I stayed off the next exit, I think Buena Vista. I had my first studio, and this was like 2001. I put out an album and it was called the Babyface Assassins. We put out in 02. Like my first collab was like was Too Short.
Oh, wow.
We had there was this dude named Cuckoo Cow called In My Project. He had a big song back in the day. We worked with Yuck Mouth. We even worked with Rest in Peace Badass. We worked with Razcast. A lot of people.
How did you start rapping, or like did you have anybody that kind of helped usher you in the game?
Well, basically, what happened was I was in jail for a robbery, and it was like '99, and I was calling myself the Babyface Assassin, and I was like, man, I think I want to rap. It was just something that I thought about that I wanted to do. When I got out of jail, she was my ex-wife, but she was just my girlfriend at the time. She had went to New Orleans to go to school out there, to college, and she had got me in college, and I was going to the University of New Orleans over there in the 9th Ward where it got all messed up during Katrina.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to school out there, and then my brother came out there, and we all started doing music together, and then we came back to California, and so that's kind of how we like started like grassroots recording in the closet, and I ended up having to go to prison. I was in jail out here in LA County for like 9 months. I was in LA County, and then they sent me to the prison, and then I ended up getting out in like 2004 in the Bay. And rest in peace, Jack. I knew him, and they had started this thing up with Keak da Sneak, Bart from 3 Times Crazy, also Hustler, and rest in peace, Pretty Black. They had started a group called Dope Gang.
Right.
And so since I knew Jacka, I started hanging with them. And so I was always shining like dope car, hella jewelry. Like I was like in the Bay, I was like one of the first dudes to really be having custom chains and then iced out and just being like, flamboyant.
And for people who don't recognize a lot of the names that you just said, I mean, this is like a very, very legendary time in Northern California rap music. And, you know, like from your perspective, when you look back on that, it must feel kind of crazy, like that there's so many legends all just around each other trying to make it at the same time. Yeah,
we was all at the same time, like coming up, and that's how I got my start. Like I just kind of like looked up and kind of like was around all of the up and coming greats that was coming out the Bay Area, that I was with them, so I was able to perform with them and do all that, and so. From there, I just kept doing we were doing a thing called with the Babyface Assassins, and we was rocking with Keak. We was like Keak da Sneak group, and Mr. Fab, when the hyphy movement was taking off, we used to open up for them. And then we just took a viral, this one when MySpace was out, and MySpace was like how YouTube is today, where you make a song a day, and on Monday, and then shit, on Friday or Saturday, that motherfucker viral already. You already got 1 million plays. We getting 20, 30,000 plays a day, putting out a new song, and they know that shit word for word. You know what I'm saying? And it was just going crazy, going up. And then Camille, which our local radio station, was playing our music, so we started getting played on the radio. And so it just kind of we had an organic street buzz, and then with the radio, our group just started blowing up.
Right.
And basically from there.
How come you ended up down here recording and stuff? And did you sign to Mac Dre early on, or was that a little later?
I never actually signed to Mac Dre. People put that out there.
Okay.
That signed to Mac Dre. I did a project with Mac with the label, with Thiz Nation.
Okay.
With Kilo and Jay Diggs. They asked me to do a project with them. It was Thiz Nation, and it's called Maserati Music.
Right.
So I just hooked up with the Thiz cats, because I always been tight knit. I always was with Mr. Fab doing shows and stuff like that. So everybody know everybody. So you know what I'm saying. I just did like a one-off deal with them, and did a one-off project with them.
When you first started to go viral on MySpace and stuff, how were you actually making money off of your shit? Because nowadays, you make some songs, you put them on Spotify, boom, you start getting checks. At that time, were you mostly just making money from, could you still sell CDs? Were you just touring and shit?
Basically, what we were doing, I had distribution, so I had my earlier projects like in a store, but back then we were just really like with the Babyface Assassins, we really just hand to hand, like just really just giving that shit out. Like we was just in the streets hustling, getting money. And we was just handing the music out, like on a hope and prayer, hoping we, get a deal. Our whole thing was putting it in people's hands and putting it in their cars and doing that. And then we just kept pushing flyers and pushing the music like that. When I came to LA, that was early on in my career. That was like in 2001, and I was doing the same thing, just networking. But around 2004, 2005 is when the hyphy movement took off.
Right.
And so we was out there in the heart of it, our group. And then my group mate ended up having to go out of town, and Lefton was out of town, and pretty much wasn't out here in California. And literally like a month later, I made Fast Like NASCAR, and it's crazy how we made Fast Like NASCAR, me and Keak, and I had made the original version. I made the original version in my apartment, and I did the original version in my apartment, but we didn't like the beat, so we had like we had like Keak da Sneak, and it's crazy because I had some vocals from Keak da Sneak, right? Because we was cool, so we had like hella songs together, and so I just was like, I had this great idea. I'm like, man, everybody starting to say fast, right? In the Bay. Well, not in the Bay, East Oakland. Some of my homies were saying fast, fast. It was like hella catchy. So I was like, I'm like, shit. I'm like, man, I'm finna make a song called Fast. And then my one boy was always like, fast, fast. And the other boy was like a NASCAR, like a NASCAR. So I was like, man, that shit catchy. I'm finna do that shit. So me and my stepbrother went and made the song in my apartment. I can always remember I had my daughter. She was a baby. She was a little born baby. She was probably like 2 months old or so in the other room. And we was in there making it like a NASCAR. We was trying to do different things. So we came up with it. But I was like, man, I don't like how this sound. Like I like how it sound, but because we had a song that was on the radio called Hyphy Ill, and my stepbrother made that beat. And so we pretty much kind of remade that beat that was on the radio at the time, and then we was recording the Fast Like a NASCAR under that beat. And so it was this producer that I had been working with that I had did songs with. He had made a song that we had when I was with the Babyface Assassins that we had did with Keak da Sneak. That was it was on TVT. They had put out this called Hyphy Hits or something like that. They had put a compilation out called Hyphy Hits. And that particular song, this guy named Vlad produced that, right? He a big hip hop artist head. Nobody would ever think that he, would have made that beat. He made Closer by Guapole, but he also had did some shit with Green Day.
Oh, wow.
So what I did was I sent the vocals to him. I sent him the vocals to NASCAR, and I went and found the verse that I had me and Keak had did like one night. We was on one with me and his cousin, and we did like 5 songs. I went and grabbed the verse. I basically went and grabbed the verse that I thought would fit, that would work for that song. And we shot this. I shot this to this dude, Amp Live, and no lie, this dude was he was on tour. He was in Germany, and he made the beat in a touring van.
Right.
And sent it right back to me in like 30 minutes.
Wow.
And I had the song, and I took that shit to the club, and there's a well-known big DJ in the Bay, DJ Mind Motion, and we was in the club, and he was there, and one of the record promoters, was my manager at the time, was there, and we had a DJ play the song. I want you to hear my song, and they played that shit. They played the record, and the club kept on rocking. He was like, man, give me that shit. And then he used to start playing that shit on a morning radio.
Wow.
And that shit was like literally in a 5-day period. And Keak didn't even know the song. Keak didn't even know about the song.
Because he just did a verse. He didn't know what the hook was going to be on it?
He didn't know nothing, because we had just been doing songs.
Right.
We know we did songs, but he didn't know about that. And so all of a sudden, that shit was on the radio, and next thing you know, all the other DJs grabbing it, playing it on the radio, and then somebody hit Keak like, bro, you got a song on the radio called Fast Like a NASCAR? He's like, nah, he called me, and I told him what happened. He's like, bruh, it's crazy, this blowing up. And so I basically independently came, Felly Fell broke it out here, came to LA, Felly Fell broke it. I was at all the different little, Wheels of Steel, little skating rink they be going to.
Can I just say as a side note that it's pretty crazy, because I always feel like nowadays rhyming NASCAR with fast car and trap star is like the most played out thing that everybody fucking rhymes. But that was like a completely different era where it was like actually like a new, like a word that, like, to me, I just am amazed how every generation of rappers keep rhyming the same words together. But that's crazy to think that was from an era before that was really a thing.
Yeah, it was before all that.
Yeah. But did that completely like change your life, like having a song be that big? And also you were independent at the time too, so you're actually...
I was independent, and then I ended up signing a deal with Koch.
Off the strength of that?
Yeah.
And Koch is like an independent label at the time, so you were able to still be like hustling with it?
Well, nah, they was. I mean, pretty much they was big at the time though. They had Khaled at the time.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is when they were really going for it.
Yeah. Because I had a lot of labels talking to me.
Because I remember that being the thing during the era of like the diplomats, that like some of the other diplomats would go and sign to Koch, like the more independent guys or whatever. But then it did kind of become really big at one point too, right?
Yeah, but they always used to say it was a rapper's graveyard back then. It was like, you know what I'm saying, it was the rapper's last place to go to would be Koch.
Right.
So they didn't have really too many like new artists, you know what I'm saying? But shit, I was honestly like I had meetings with Pito Paterno, who I think he's a big DJ. He was Dr. Dre or somebody. Dr. Dre, a lawyer, and I talked with them. They was trying to take me to Interscope. We was going to talk to Warner. I mean, I talked to a gang of I even talked to Tamika Wright from Ruthless, and she was trying to sign. She really was trying to sign me, but I'm like, I was hearing all the stories and how that Bone, I think, had put their last album out through them, had all the issues. So I'm like, I ain't going there. But what made me sign with Koch, I ain't gonna lie, I was at LAX. With a radio promoter, and he was in his dusty Trailblazer, about to take us to Power 106, and DJ Khaled hopped in the back seat with his wife, or his girl. It was his manager at the time, but his wife now. And he was just telling me about all the stuff what Koch could do, because that's when he was pushing that So Hood song. And he was just telling me about everything about Koch or whatever. And then they really wanted me because it was one night at a club. It was the Old School Club. I performed there a lot of times, but once I popped off when I was in LA, when I was out here, Old School Club 740. It was basically David Banner's birthday, and it was a Koch rep was there, and Keak da Sneak was on stage, and the rep told him, the crowd told him to play, since Keak was on stage, play Fast Like a NASCAR, and shit, they played that shit. They said the motherfucking stage down there broke. They was going so hyphy and crazy.
Wow.
And that's what made them sign me. And I ended up signing with them for like, they ended up giving me, they gave me about like almost 150 up front, and that was the most they ever gave to a new artist that never had a deal.
Right, at that time, that was like way more than the average person was getting up front, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah. New artists?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, these new artists now, they don't be getting like 40,000 up front. They don't be getting no money like that up front.
There's a lot of truth to that. Yeah. But okay, this is kind of jumping ahead, but do you feel, you said something on your Instagram about how that song was kind of mismanaged by the label and how now it's having the second life and people are playing it in all these kind of crazy pop culture situations. What are your thoughts on how that song was handled and marketed?
Man, that song should have been way bigger. We were in talks with NASCAR at the time of them endorsing me. So it was like they had the expectations way up here, because you get endorsement with NASCAR going, that's instant millionaire. You know what I'm talking about? Like it's gonna be big. And they ended up clashing over the advertisements. See, now in this day and time, it wouldn't have mattered because we got YouTube.
Right.
Then you just had BET, and MTV, and they would blur out all the different advertisements. So in between with all the advertisements and all that is what messed the deal up. And then after that, pretty much, I was smart though. When I went on all the radio runs and was doing everything, I was meeting people. I was getting their phone numbers. I was getting their emails. I was doing all that. So what ended up happening when I got my second win, I wasn't even on Koch no more. And you know what I'm saying, I stayed lit on the radio for years doing the independent because I learned the game.
But just one more thing about that song. Did it feel kind of weird at a certain point that you just made that song randomly and then all of a sudden you've got a song that's popular and now it's like, oh, fuck, I'm doing free promo for this random-ass race car company that I don't know anything about and I don't give a fuck about? That must have been kind of weird at a certain point, right?
It was weird. I'm like, it was like, man, fuck, man. I'm thinking like, man, is they finna? I'm thinking like, because they said they wanted to get into the urban situation. You feel me? So
See,
I'm like,
nowadays I feel like they would fuck with that song way more because they probably like want their product to appeal to more different audiences.
So guess what happens? So coming now, 15 years later, Saweetie samples it. She samples the record, and NASCAR grabs it.
Wow.
She sampled my record. She sampled my record, and it was Fast Motion, wasn't NASCAR. And we got that record is everywhere right now. That shit's like we got the most syncs and licensings so far this year of any song.
Wow.
Like we in Venom 2. We in every like shit on ESPN and shit. They running the basketball, women's basketball. They run that commercial, every commercial for the WNBA all day.
And you were signed to like an independent label, so are you still seeing a very large percentage of that money?
Shit, what happened was, see, I had my master's. I never had went and got my master's back from Koch. See, I was supposed to go get my master's back, but I'm about to tell you. So I ended up having to, I had to end up pulling some strings because I really rightfully owned NASCAR the Masters. So the money's about the master of it. And so what happened was Warner reached out to Koch, and they were like, oh, we don't know who the writer is. It's been so long. But they sent out a little pitch to him about all the percentages they wanted for them using the song and this and that and that. Uh-huh. And so I basically had to go fight to get my master's back.
Right.
But ultimately, you know what I'm saying, behind the door, you know, we got some people who I respect in the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, went and put some work in and got me my master's.
That's the value of owning your own shit at the end of the day, huh? That somebody could do this and that you just get cut in on it in a way that a lot of legendary artists would not.
Yeah, I could have got cut out, but I was smart enough. I had my contract. I'm like, I'm supposed to be a part of this. And Venom 1, they used my contract to get Keak da Sneak out of his contract with E1. With E1.
How they use your contract to get him out of his?
Because it was similar contracts that me and him had.
Okay.
And so he used my contract that it helped him get out of it because Venom, they were trying to claim it, and it was like a movie's like $100,000. Both sides of master. It's $50,000 on publishing, and then there's another probably $50,000 on a master side. So Koch was claiming E1. Was claiming ownership of that record and claiming that. So they was even able to get their bread from the Venom. And basically I had the record hadn't came out yet. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Whack 100. Shout out Whack 100. You know what I'm saying? He had a little process of talking to them up there to get us in contact.
Quote unquote talking.
Getting us in. Nah, not like that.
Whack puts the pressure on people.
He got us. He got help get us in contact with the right people. Cause
he really is a good businessman though.
Yeah, he got the whole. He running the little. He got the little artists up there, Blueface and 2Car and all them up there, and I think he wanted part of the Death Row catalog or some shit like that.
Sometimes I think people really just answer Whack 100's calls when they wouldn't answer other people's calls because they're a little intimidated. But he does good business, and he's really about his bread.
Yeah, he my folks.
Yeah.
So basically, what ended up happening was, I basically ended up getting my master's back, and so I owned the masters. I own 50% of the publishing, and then me as being a good guy, and Keak da Sneak, my boy and the producer, I split the publishing down the middle with them on it. And I took about 30%. I took about 30%, third of the record. Mm-hmm. And then on the master side, I got my masters and shit. So I got a lovely check.
Does that feel kind of crazy though, just knowing that your music could be influential enough that it could still be, important enough that somebody like Saweetie could be making, a big soundtrack to a lot of people's lives using your shit all these years later?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Kind of tells you a lot about the value of music in the long run,
Yeah. I mean, that's the importance of owning your music. Because if I didn't own my music, I wouldn't have seen nothing but a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
The ownership of it, I'm gonna probably at the end of it, when it's all said and done, I'm probably gonna make at least $1 million off of it.
Wow.
We still haven't even touched the international market on syncs yet.
Oh wow.
Syncs and license. See, the syncs and licenses is where the money's at now. You know what I'm saying? Getting on these movies. Like, I never knew. Like, the McDonald's situation was like total, like, it was all split around, but it was like a $250,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about that. We got all these different deals coming off.
Right.
And this song, they say, is like the most song that was synced this year.
What do you blame it on, though? Do you feel like that sound is just?
Nah, it's the concept of the song.
Yeah.
Of her doing all the different sports and all that. That's what made that like go.
Okay. But do you think there's something about that like sort of hyphy era sound that is like newly? It just makes sense to people again all of a sudden, all these years later, and they just sort of feel like that speaks to where the culture's at right now?
Yeah, I think so. It's like honestly, as we always say, they still a Bay sound. The whole world never gives us our props. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, Saweetie, Saweetie say she claims she from, say she from the Bay, so.
You still feel like that shit, the thing that people always said all forever is that, the Bay has its own world, and it's like it doesn't really necessarily trickle through to the rest of the world. Do you still feel like that's a problem? You feel like that's like getting more improved over time?
I mean, it's getting more improved from artists like Saweetie, G-Eazy. Those different rappers have, kind of, made it go, turn into one. Because it's crazy, because on the Saweetie song, Fast Motion, the whole intro is just my whole beat. It's not nothing changed. It's my whole beat is the first to start the songs off. It's my whole beat, and it's like they did like it's like an 18-second sample of it going through the song besides the whole intro. So they used it was a Bay Area type feeling type thing. I just think the Bay, I don't know, it's like the Bay, a melting pot, and we so diverse, and we got so much different type of culture and so much music that I don't know. I think people tend to take from it, but don't want to claim that they take from it. But I mean, you gotta, like at the end of the day, like I can honestly say, like when I was when I was popping off, I was coming to L.A. And L.A. didn't have no sound then. This was before the jerking sound.
Like a dead era in LA rap history,
This was like Glasses Malone was certified doing like 120 spins a week.
Oh wow!
And I go do a show with him, and I'm only probably getting maybe 20 spins a week. And when he performed at the party, they was just standing there. Then when I performed, they just was going crazy.
Right.
And so, then LA ended up coming with the jerking movement, and so what they doing now, and sounds kind of similarity. And I just feel that the Bay Area is no labels. Now we got, Ghazi and Empire. Yeah. I was like one of the first artists to ever mess with Ghazi before he had Empire.
Interesting.
I was the first. I had let him. I had a record with me and Bobby Valentino, and I let him distribute that. And I had a record with me, Gucci, and the dude Thorough when he had the ice cream paint job when he was super hot.
Yeah, I interviewed him a little while ago.
Yeah, we had a record together, and I let Ghazi distribute that and do all that for me. This was after Koch.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been dealing with. It's crazy because the contract that I got with him is like nobody else's contract because it was before sync. Okay. So like he barely gets no syncs or nothing from me. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just iTunes then, it wasn't streaming.
Interesting.
So I got a good contract with Ghazi right now.
For sure. Are you like whenever I get turned on to new artists from up north these days, typically a lot of times it's like very, very gang oriented, street politics, playing out in the music type shit. Yeah. Do you still find yourself interested in seeing new artists who are on that tip, or does that shit seem kind of old to you at this point, being older and everything?
Yeah, me being older and that shit, that fuck up the money. You know what I'm saying? on the gang street politics shit that mess up the game.
But there's so many artists going viral from up north that are just telling you what's going on in these environments.
Yeah, it's crazy, but you ain't making no money. YouTube don't pay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I do my research because, you know what I'm saying, I do my research because like I put out an artist, I put on an artist, I got his name real big, Raven Justice. I don't know if you know who he is, but
I heard that for sure.
yeah. So Raven Justice, I'm behind him. I'm the one who got him started. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I took a chance and whatever. You know, I go with it, and you end up getting them hot, and they end up doing some more other ass shit. But neither here or there. But I don't. It's like to me it's I don't know. It's senseless to me because it's like you not making no money. Like right now I'm talking to a hot artist. Right now I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm talking to him and he rapping about the gang stuff and all that. And so I do my research and I see they getting millions of YouTube hits, but I go to Spotify and all that and check their numbers and not getting they're not streaming.
Yeah.
Because what it is these young kids is just playing YouTube off the TV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At home, they just listen to YouTube off the TV, so they not like the older people who listen to Spotify in a car or, you know, they not driving or nothing like that. So they just straight off of YouTube.
And there's a lot of artists who are like so music video oriented that the people who really fuck with them, it's like they want to see the machine guns and the lean and the crazy. They want to see you in the projects. And like when you remove all that and you just put the audio on Spotify, there's not that many people who are that interested in following you to another platform. I feel like
exactly that's the whole thing. It's the guns and all that. That's like especially when you see down south artists how they're blowing up now. I mean, but they, you know, a lot of times when they blow up, they get a bigger, you know, bars with the labels want to grab that.
I mean, that's kind of the perverse part about it is that the labels like really actively go after this shit.
Yeah, they actively go after the shit.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy because I had a situation up with Epic when L.A. Reid was there. He flew his A&R. He flew his A&R out to the Bay, had a song popping. You know what I'm saying? The APD that was at Cameo. He was, you know, pushing the record, was behind it. We get there. I have me, Nishi, all the music I got coming out. We was in there. We picked the second single to come after it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had did a record with Gucci Mane and Bobby Valentino, and we had shot a video, or whatever. And it was you know, playing all through the South. I did the whole Chickland circuit, and it was getting a lot of downloads. So you know what I'm saying. So it was a good look. So it was something that they looked and wanted to sign. So when it came back, it was like he told me like with the deal done. L.A. Reid second guessed it. He was like, how this dude got all his jewelry and a Bentley and all his money and doing all this. Like, I don't want to sign another drug dealer. But I'm like, I'm sitting there when he said this, I'm like, wasn't Future supposed to be this big ass drug dealer or some shit and King Louis and all this?
Right.
Like, what make you pass on me?
Did you just not, you never got a good answer for that question? Because, yeah.
Yeah, it was like basically
damn near every rapper lying about being a drug dealer at some point in their life or acting like they were some kind of street boss. Like, the labels have never really turned their back on that in the past.
Yeah, and then they signed Bobby Smurder. I don't know, he just passed on it. Like it was, everything was set up. The radio, local radio station supporting the record. The second record was starting to get put in mix show. You know, everything was doing what it's supposed to do, and he had passed on it, and he had just signed. Well, he already had signed John Hart with you, playing with the booty or whatever song he had, and they had signed him, so that's how they was in the Bay, and his A&R, you know, came like, man, he was like, man, I'm like, he was in front of the radio guy and everything, like, man, we gonna sign you, gonna make this happen. And then at the end of the day, it never transpired. And that was his reasoning that it came back from the A&R, like, man, he's scared, man. He's scared that you like into selling drugs or something.
Really?
Like how you getting, you know what I mean? How you getting your money and whatever.
When you got into the rap game, had you been very in the streets leading up to that, or would you say that you were?
Yeah, I had been in the streets. I had been in the streets.
You were really out there.
Huh?
You were really out there.
I wasn't. I mean, yeah, my name was ringing. My name will always be, ringing in the streets. But I mean, it wasn't on no drugs or nothing like that though.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying, it was on other type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this was just like a little crazy experience.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
So then after that, like, are you actually spending most of your time in LA throughout your career, or are you spending time in the Bay as well? Or
No, I'm my whole career I've been in the Bay.
Okay.
I had ended up signing a deal with I did a joint venture with Big Cat Records. He the one who started Gucci out.
Right. Did he sign anybody else notable besides Gucci and you, or I don't really remember who else he had around that time.
He signed like I think it's Young Ralph.
Oh yeah, okay.
He even had Kaya signed at one time.
Oh wow, okay.
He even had Rashida from Love and Hip Hop signed, like her first. He put out her first project.
First thing I knew about Big Cat was just hearing Gucci attack him on tracks, going in on him back in the day.
Yeah, but I was the artist that made them be cool again.
Oh, okay.
Like me and Gucci hopped on some of my records. Him and Big Cat got back cool, and then Gucci hopped on some of my shit. So
right,
you know what I'm saying. So that's kind of how that went. And so that's how I was introduced to the South. I had been in the South grinding. That's how you heard about me, because I was in the South just always grinding. And so it was a radio promoter that I was working with. She was like, I was the first California artist since MC Hammer to hit the chitlin circuit.
Yeah, was that a goal of yours? Like, if I want to blow up, I'm gonna try to appeal to this audience as well, and not just the area where I come from.
Well, yeah, because technically we don't have any urban stations on the West Coast.
Right.
Cameo is listed as Ribnick, but it's considered an urban station, but it's on a Ribnick panel.
Right.
And plays urban, so we don't have no on the West Coast. We don't have any urban stations. I think at one point, K-Day was or used to be when it back. I don't know, back in the day or something. K-Day was considered urban, but
Before they
I
went
don't know.
classic rap on us.
Yeah, I don't know. They flipped and switched so many times. I can't tell you, but
Right.
I mean, when I was out, they were playing my music, and they were moving, but I don't know.
You tapped in with Zaytoven?
Yeah, I'm good with Zaytoven.
Because I feel like that's Gucci's big connection to the Bay and Northern California and shit.
Yeah, because Zaytoven from the Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard he was the one who told Gucci to do the tape with V Nasty.
Oh, for real? Yeah,
I
I don't know.
Yeah.
Actually, he got cashed out.
Well, who knows?
Warner was behind that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, Warner was behind that because he had a deal with Warner. So,
Right.
Yeah, she had a deal with Warner. Warner cashed him out to do that tape.
So during this whole time period, though, are you beefing with anyone or having any sort of street tension playing out in your music?
Nah, that didn't happen to like me and Filthy Rich had our little beef.
Right. And so
we've been beefing for hella years.
Did that spark off because there was this controversy about you and some ex of yours leaked these photos? Was that the thing that started this?
I feel that's what started it. Yep. But he wants to say that my artist Raven Justice had put out a record called Slide Through, and him and Keak da Sneak was on a record. Now me and Keak da Sneak like brothers. You feel me? So why would I take Keak da Sneak off the record and take him off the record? What happened was the radio dude said he wanted Raven to do the song solo just as a R&B track. But at the time, me and Raven wasn't really talking, and like around the time he made that song, we was kind of like beefing. Like I really wasn't fucking with him, and so I didn't even know that he was going to go get that track made. Doing the song. Like honestly, I had did a song a week prior to him doing it. The same producer made me a similar beat. Raven basically went back because we posted on Instagram. This is when Instagram had like the little 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And I posted the song and it sounds dead on a Slide Through beat. So I guess he went to the dude like, man, make me a beat like you make Kafani. So he made the beat or whatever, and he went and got Filthy and got Keak to get on the song. And I think Big Von Camille started playing on the radio. And so he was playing it on the radio, and then basically Raven came to me saying that the dude at Camille playing the record, and but he said that the dude that I was talking to him about the Camille, he said he's gonna work he playing the record or whatever, and then basically ended up telling Raven that he wanted him to do because he was talking to Raven by himself, because like I told you, I wasn't really me and Raven wasn't really seeing eye to eye. He even told Filthy that. So basically he changed the song, and I guess he didn't tell him that he changed it. So at the end they start playing the song, and he what Filthy says is, Filthy word says that Raven said that I told him to take him off the song, and Raven says he told him, didn't tell him that. So there we go between this one says this one, that one says that. But I never told the radio dude to take him off the record. I didn't tell him to take none of them off the record. I actually told him that I think he should leave Keak on the record, leave him on the record, because Keak got the Keak got the streets. So Filthy Rich wasn't popping back then.
Right. So all this shit kind of comes back to like a misunderstanding.
Well, as far as that or whatever.
In terms of what started the whole tension.
Yeah, what started that, and then when the ex put the little picture shit out, at that time, and then at that time period, man, we moved so mean, my crew moved so mean, man. Nobody wouldn't test us. We put demos down on motherfuckers, so motherfuckers wouldn't test me. But what happened was, some of my family members who was with me, we had got into it, and it was on the internet. But it was all kind of stemmed from the picture and shit. But we already kind of had a little tension with my family members, so that kind of gave him the little juice to be able to go do the little diss and know there ain't gonna be no repercussions to it.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? And so motherfuckers saying, man, don't respond back to that nigga, man. He just, he trying to get some fame.
Trying to divide and conquer.
Yeah, he basically clout chasing, because I was at that time I was the big dog. I was the biggest rapper from Oakland.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, you know what I mean, I looked at dude as just, like dude used to, you know what I mean, when we was in a group, he came to our shows wearing our T-shirts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you know what I mean? That's my first time ever saying this. He probably go deny it, but it's a video of him wearing our T-shirts and all that shit. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, bruh, that's little, bruh. Like, you know what I'm saying? This dude used to wear our T-shirts and be with us and kick it with us, and I'm doing songs with him. I got like 6 or 7 songs I did for him. You know what I mean? Soon as he I got his little Bentley or whatever, he smashed straight from Vegas to the Bay, and we shot the video and all in the eye. So I'm thinking we good. So I'm like, man, fuck it, I'm about to do the diss song, because I know all type of shit about this dude. So that's when I went and that's why I responded, because I'm like, man, I know all this shit about this dude. I'm from this clowning. So I just do the diss song, whatever. And it was really on some play. It was really on some play shit. It wasn't no beef. And we just going back and forth.
It felt like a rap beef.
Huh?
It felt like a rap beef. It didn't feel like you were starting a gang war.
Nah, it was just a little thing going back and forth with me and dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no real rap beef.
Because it might be hard for some people to like understand, because we're so used to seeing real deal street beefs play out in rap music. But I feel like at that time it was much more common to just have a rap beef and to have it play out in bars and not necessarily have like a real life element so much.
That's what I'm gonna tell you. In the Bay Area, no beef, none of the beefs that's going on, that's surrounding that situation, our situation. That shit ain't no beef. Nobody got touched by no other rapper or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't no beef. What ended up happening was I ended up going over to I ended up going over that area to shoot a video. Cause I was just like, man, I'm about to go shoot the video or whatever.
And this, before you did it, it didn't seem like that big a deal to you? Because like sometimes when people retell the story, it's like as if you were on some crazy renegade shit, like going into a fucking war zone, and that you should have known that this was going to be.
Man, I had dudes from seminary with me. I know a gang of dudes from seminary like that I'm good with. I mean, seminary dudes used to rock with us at our shows, so it wasn't nothing like that to me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing like that to me. So I went over there, and at the same time when I went over there, the people that I had with me who had straps, whatever, they was at one part, and what happened was the chick with me, she had to use the bathroom. So I had drove to the little block and made a quick little right. And she went and squatted or whatever, and then the cameraman was like, man, let's shoot right here. So I go shoot, but I ain't paying attention to see some dudes that was down there. And so what ended up happening was a dude walked up or whatever, and I think he said something with dude, asked dude, what y'all doing? Dude said, we shooting a video. Then he walked up to my other partner, I think he said he tried to shake dude's hand. Dude's like, dude said, back. Next thing you know, he in my face. And he's like, what you doing? You shooting a video about my partner? I'm like, who is you? You feel me? So I'm like, I get defensive, like, who is you? You know what I mean? And so pretty much how it went, we was exchanging words back and forth, just talking, like, basically. And I'm like, you got a gun on you or something? And it was really the one where if I would have known where dude was coming and knew he had a gun on him or something,
it wouldn't have happened.
I could have got up out of there. Yeah. I could have just bounced and ran or something. I mean, at the same time, it's like you face to face with somebody, I'm face to face with another man, so we just going back and forth, and then I'm like, I felt he got a gun on him, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's like I ain't gonna back down, you know what I mean? Like it's just like you just in that situation. And so then I went like this, hey, to my peoples like that. And so that's when I seen him reach.
Right.
And so I backpedal like I was gonna try to run. I don't even think I got a chance to run. Like when I backpedaled, and I got hit in the neck, right here in the neck. Got here in the neck. I got hit in the chest, and I got grazed in the chest, and I got 3 times in the leg. And I hit 5 times total. And shit, I was laying on the ground like, man, I'm dead. He killed me. And then all my people start running, after hearing the shooting.
And this guy was just out of there? He didn't stick around to follow up on any of this? Okay.
Yeah, they ran off, and my people start running up. They ran off in the cut somewhere. I don't know where the fuck they went. And so I'm just laid out on the ground. I'm not feeling no pain. I'm thinking I'm dead. And so they calling 911. And so they pick him up and let's just take him to the hospital. So they picked me up and they put me in a car. And all I do after that, all I remember is the next thing I remember is my ex-wife. I remember my ex-wife grabbing my hand saying, "Man, you a gangster. You got shot tonight. You gonna make it. You gotta make it. You got your kids. You got this and that. You strong. You gonna make it." And I'm like, she squeeze my hand if you hear me. I squeezed her hand, and then I just going through it. Now I'll take you back. They took me. They smashed me to Highland Hospital. They said they got me there probably in from the shooting, probably 6 to 7 minutes. They got me to the hospital. Now when they get me out the back, they trying to put me on the gurney. My boy said he tried to pick me up. He said I was dead. When he got me, he said he tried to get me, and my body was just limp, and he dropped me on it. He dropped me on my face. So all my teeth got knocked out. I had to get my mandibles. I had to get screws and got metal rods.
I've never heard anything like that. Like you get an additional injury that bad from just getting dropped during all this. That's crazy.
Yeah, I dropped on my head. My jaw wired. My jaw got metal through all three of the mandible.
Holy fuck.
I was DOA. They just hit me doing chest compressions. They said the dude actually did. They didn't get a code for clearance yet, and he risked his job with the gurney and he hopped on top of me and he was giving me the dude Brian, he was giving me CPR. Shout out Brian. He was giving me CPR, and they took me to the back and they brought me back. And so they was trying to. Then after that, they were trying to. I don't know how long it was into it. I can't tell you, but they were trying to take me off the ventilator. So I hear them they wake me up. I hear them arguing like he not ready, and you know, our doctors argue back and forth with each other. So they try to take the ventilator out, and when they take the ventilator out, I think I'm breathing. They like breathe. I'm breathing. And they like he about to code. We got to put him back. He not ready. And next thing I know, I start feeling them putting the thing down my throat, and I just blacked out. And I ended up waking back up, and they had to revive me again.
Wow.
And so then after that, I ended up waking up or whatever. All my people's coming to see me and shit like that, and it was just, that shit was crazy. But that shit didn't have nothing to do with Filthy, no nothing like that. It was just some shit in the streets of Oakland.
Right.
Me being at the wrong place, you know what I'm saying, going there and me really just not paying attention to my surroundings.
Your read on that dude is that he was more like it's not like there was an assassin hired. He was just a dude who thought he was protecting the block or some shit. They never caught him or anything like that?
I don't know what happened with it. I don't know. He ain't got caught. I know he ain't got caught from my knowledge about nothing. I don't know.
For that, yeah. Who knows what happened?
Thought a crackhead killed him or something. I don't know.
But it's not something you ever seen before or you ever saw after that or anything?
Nah, I ain't never seen him, none of that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at that time, how long was it before you were like fully conscious and able to comprehend what had happened, and was it like immediate, like the next day you were conscious of what was going on, or did they have you knocked out for a while or some shit?
Yeah, no, I was at CPR I was in ICU for a couple weeks. Really? Yeah. And then after that, I went to rehab for like some months.
And when did they start to have the conversation with you about being paralyzed? Like how did that go?
Man, that shit was crazy. They wasn't supposed to tell me, I guess. My family wanted, supposed to tell me or something.
Oh, wow.
Some lady, I said, man, can you help me out the bed? I got to go use the bathroom or some silly ass shit. I said I was doped up. And then she's like, you paralyzed. You can't get out the bed.
Wow.
And so that's how I found out. From some random person, random nurse, of me saying, let me out the bed to use the bathroom.
How did you feel when you heard that?
Shit. Man, at first, I mean, I just kind of took it like whatever. Like, I'm a nonchalant person, so I really don't be too emotional. You know what I'm saying? But I think I probably like eventually like that night or something cried or something about it, and then when I got up, and they told me, now when I got up, and I was actually talking to my family. They told me that I died twice, that I died or whatever. The whole story. Then I took another thinking route on it. I started thinking about my kids. Right. I started thinking about my family. So I'm like, shit, I'm paralyzed, but shit, I'm still here. Feel me? And that's what I rolled with. That was it. I'm still here. I still here, God, you know what I'm saying, another, live my life and do what I got to do, and, you know what I'm saying, and shit, I bounced back, doing my music. Shout out E40, 40 has shot me a song or whatever. Yeah, like he was your first song back. He got on your first song back. What was your relationship with him prior to that he would look out like that? I had known 40 for hella years or whatever. Okay. Been around him and shit. We've been cool.
But he was like, he really wanted to show his support by getting on a song with you right away after the incident, right?
I mean, I can't really say when, we didn't really talk about it. It's just, I'm like, man, I need you on this song, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And, he got on it, you know what I'm saying, right away. Right. But I'm probably, from his side of it, probably was like, you know what I'm saying, dude going through a lot. I'ma, look out. You know what I'm saying?
Did you feel like the public opinion was sympathetic, or did you feel like because of the circumstances where you were filming a video in somebody else's neighborhood, was there like a attitude about it right away where it was like almost like you were asking for it?
Well, in the beginning, it was all passionate. People thinking I'm dying. After everybody thinking you about to die, everybody team Kafani, this and that and that and that and that. He was my best friend and all that. But then the internet, people was talking shit. Like once I got back, you know what I'm saying? But like, I mean, my family, like everybody that I ever known came to the hospital. Like my house out from the time you could visit to the time you in, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers coming, all the chicks from junior high school girlfriends, all the way up was coming to see me, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was everybody showing me a lot of love.
That's fascinating though that you said that like they thought you were dead, so they were acting a certain way, and then you made it. And did you feel like a lot of those same people who were swearing that you were their best friend weren't necessarily trying to then be around you once you survived?
Well, you got to understand. Maybe 10 days prior, when that picture came out, everybody was calling me gay. You feel me?
What was the picture like? Was it just you joking around with your ex?
Nah, what it was I had just got out the shower.
Okay.
And pretty much I got out the shower, and I was laying in a fetal position. I didn't have my clothes on. I was laying in a fetal position, and I was on my laptop, and she said something hella funny. She said something, called my name and said something hella funny, and I looked at her. And so I wasn't even tripping about the camera taking the picture. And that was it. She just had she just had the shit. And so that's how that was.
And
so,
then what happened that she decided that she wanted to try to use this against you?
Well, what happened was she, it was her birthday. And I had put together a dope ass party for her and all that. I'm coming home drunk trying to get something, and she was on some other shit. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm gone. I'm like, man, fuck it. I'm about to go kick it with another bitch and shit. I'm like, matter of fact, I'm gonna put them on Instagram. So the next day, it was a Sunday, I went and kicked it. It was this girl's birthday. One of the chick I messed with, talked to, whatever, and another chick. It was like 4 chicks, and my partner, his chick was there. So it was like 4 girls. I just took a picture with them. I was at Ruth Chris, made some post, and she called me. She called me probably like 5 minutes later. Like, nigga, you embarrassing me with you. I'm about to embarrass you. Yeah, you better take that picture down. I'm gonna embarrass you. And I'm so, I F-U-B, hang up the phone. The next thing I know, probably about 10 minutes later, my boy like, nigga, what's this on your page? I'm like, what? And I look, I'm like, oh shit.
And she posted on your Instagram?
Yeah,
Lord.
And then it went to my Twitter. Everything is connected. It went to probably my Twitter and my Facebook.
Right.
But all I did was I got the phone. She had changed the password, so I had to go through my email, change that. She didn't have my email, so I was able to change that. I erased it off Instagram, but I never erased it off Twitter because I didn't know. But that shit was already, that shit went, Vlad page, that shit had about 3 million. On Vlad page, had about 3 million views.
Wow.
I'm pissed off at him, by the way.
I noticed.
Pissed off at him, by the way, man.
Because, I mean, if there was anyone who wasn't familiar with your story, they certainly have been reminded of it because Vlad
keeps bringing the shit up.
He's probably brought it up in like 10 different interviews that I've seen.
But the thing the problem is, though, this was started the last beef with me and dude.
Right.
Was that him
the
bringing
fact
that
that he
shit up.
posted the pictures in the first place? Because you gave him the first interview after you got shot, right?
Yeah. And then he interviewed me when I was in jail when I had caught my Fed case.
How many years ago was that? Like 2 years or?
Nah, he interviewed me. That was like 13. I got shot in 2013. The end of 2013.
And then the Fed case was what year?
The Fed case was I had to go down I went down like a year later.
Oh, it was only a year later. Okay.
It was a year later than I did 3 years.
So did you get caught up for shit that you were doing before you got shot, more or less?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Early,
you know,
that was, I don't know how much you could say, but that was like early era fraud type shit. Now everybody's on it, but you were ahead of your time.
Yeah. I'm kind of on pre-trial right now about some shit I can't talk about.
I saw that there's a new case. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's a gag order. But
Respect.
you know what I mean. You can read up on it. It's all in the newspapers, whatever. You can read up on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I read a little
it is.
bit, but
Yeah.
you know, best of luck with all that for sure.
Yeah, I'm good.
What but okay, so you did that interview with Vlad, and then what sparks the beef after that? Is just the fact that you keep bringing it up, or was there something before that?
Yeah, he kept bringing it up, and then this time he had to bring it up with Lavish D, and he's
Right.
like, "Oh, you two, anything with between you and Filthy Rich, something always happening with somebody." And then, well, you probably heard about this, and the way he be bringing it up, so sad story, such a sad story, and bruh, it's not. Nobody don't need to feel sorry for me. Feel me? I'm living my life. I'm still doing my thing. You know, so I just happen to be paralyzed. You know what I mean? I go through what I go through, deal what I got to deal with. But it's like keep on bringing that shit up. I still got boys, family members that's still mad about that situation. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of bring up some stuff to where it could get some shit going on. It gets somebody to go want to do something filthy. You feel me?
Right.
Based on the fact that they keep on bringing that up. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a gang of people that love me, that love for me, and would do things for me, and you know what I'm saying. And nobody knows what goes on in the streets and what goes on behind closed doors or whatever. So you know what I'm saying. At the end of the day, the internet go talk, it's gonna do what it do. You know what I'm saying. But we finally, after just after all the little shit, we finally you know what I'm saying, ended the beef.
So it is officially over at this point?
Yeah, we was going through when he caught his Fed case or whatever. I never wished jail upon nobody. And I was just on the thing they was talking about it because somebody sent me the paperwork.
Right.
I didn't even know he was in jail. Nobody knew he was in jail. But somebody sent me the paperwork.
Right.
And so, you know, a court, and then they sent somebody else the paperwork. So we was just talking about the shit.
Shit was heated for a while because I'm not gonna lie, him doing an interview in a wheelchair was one of the more disrespectful things I've seen in my time as a rap journalist. Yeah,
doing that bullshit, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Somebody will end up getting hurt. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, he just made himself look bad because the internet, at the end of the day, you already know what people will do behind closed doors. There's never been one person to ever come disrespect me in front of my face.
Right.
I've never been disrespected in front of my face, no nothing. So I'm not worried about none of that.
I get that did stand out to me a lot, but then at the same time, with all the shit that you see all these drill rappers doing and shit these days, I mean, nothing should really surprise me because that situation stands out a lot. Maybe because it was like 10 years ago. That situation seems like it happens all the fucking time right now. Like in terms of all these kids in New York and Chicago and shit, stories that are just as bad as yours, if not worse. Yeah. I mean, it's like way too common of a story at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's common, man. That's another reason why I'm like, that's another reason why in our city is so much stuff going down. It's like, you know, if we could squash a little beef or whatever, or, I mean, to me, it wasn't really just a beef. It ain't like nobody. We just always talking shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's tension. We haven't seen each other. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't tell you what my actions would be if I, you know, would have seen him. I can't tell you what I would do. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or try to do. So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm grown man, and all that shit. That shit is give people, you know what I'm saying? All that shit is to give people laughs. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that shit is like people, all that shit is giving people unwanted entertainment. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And so you know what I'm saying, when he was like, man, you really want to just squash this? I was like, man, shit, man, when you squash it, I mean,
How'd that
really
conversation get initiated, though? He reached out through mutual friends, or
No, we was arguing on the internet.
oh, okay,
We was arguing
on live.
on live.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
one of those. There was like enough conversations that you guys arguing that I wasn't sure which one to watch at a certain point. Yeah.
We was arguing. Yeah, we was arguing. We was arguing on live, and then he's like, "Man, you want to just squash this, man? We really ain't beat whatever he said." I'm like, "Shit, I ain't tripping." You know what I mean? Like it is what it is.
When you sort of like in the weeks or months after you guys shot and everything, where was your brain at? Were you thinking about revenge? Were you thinking about like pure just anger and rage, or when did your brain start to like kind of accept it and maybe start thinking about peace or maybe just thinking about moving past it? Like what was that process like for you?
Oh yeah, I thought. Oh yeah, I was on one. Me and bro was sliding.
Right.
We was sliding through. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. But you know, had to talk with some mutual people, and you know what I'm saying. It was like, you know what I'm saying, you need to be cool. You know what I'm saying? You know, I already know what it is, the feds and all this, and you know what I'm saying. The feds, when they were trying to, you know, come talk to me and all that, they saying whoever shot me is gonna be a Fed case, you know, it's gonna be a Fed case and all this and that. So, me trying to figure out who did this, or you know, me around trying to, you know what I mean, trying to be on some shit.
They basically warned you not to retaliate.
No.
Oh.
No. They said that.
They're encouraging you to talk.
Yeah, they were asking questions, but I could barely. You know, I mean, I was out of it, so I didn't know what the hell, you know, really what they was talking about. But they was just saying that the case, the person who shot me, if they were found and convicted, it would be a federal case. You know what I'm saying? That's what they were basically saying.
Right.
And then also we had to address the thing too. Me and him had to address while we was live, because when I was locked up and when I was in jail, they had said that his brother shot me, and I snitched on his brother. So we had confirmed it. We had confirmed it with a big homie, confirmed it, and got on the internet and spoke on it, stating that was false. That because me and Phil was on the phone with each other or whatever. And then you know, so for the record, we got there and put it on the record. Like, did your brother shoot me? Nah. Did I snitch? Get on the stand on your brother? Nah. You know what I'm saying? It's the kill act, because it's a website. It's a website, Free J-Bay, and they got all this bullshit talking about he shot me and all that. He shot me and I snitched on him and all this shit.
And that's kind of like the standard shit that we see now with all the drill rappers and stuff, where somebody gets shot, whole bunch of people want to take credit for it. Whole bunch of people want to say that so-and-so snitched. Is like all this messiness that comes from it, and a lot of times none of it is anything that they could prove. It just
no paperwork,
makes it messier,
no nothing. Yeah. I'm way in motherfucking Minnesota.
Damn.
Locked up in Minnesota, where I go and what courtroom I go to to say that his brother shot me. So you know what I'm saying. But then at the same time, I was still just mad about. I was still mad about it because I felt like shit, motherfucker didn't discredit it or nothing like that. At the same time, it was just sitting around lingering for years, going around. You know what I mean? So, you know, at the end of the day, the internet is undefeated. So no matter what, you always go have these clowns that's hiding behind the internet talking shit.
Right.
They go be in the comments now off this right here talking shit. And then, you know, but at the same time, when I'm doing my positive shit on my page, doing what I do, is all positive. It's never negative. The only time I get something negative is when me and him going back and forth, and that's when I get get the negative feedback.
And when did you kill the beef? Like a year ago, or it wasn't that long ago, right?
What, the beef killing?
In terms of you and Filthy and everything, like that ended.
That ended 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. That's it. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
2 weeks ago. It's funny because I was like, when you talking about, you can't go, you can't go to, like, always kept on making references about rappers can't go to go to seminary and all this and that. Then I got shot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what? I'm finna go to seminary and shoot a video. Fuck it. So I went to seminary and shot a video. At the end of the day, nobody owned these blocks. None of us own property on that block. It's a public area. Anybody, I'm from Oakland. I'll go wherever I want to go. So I went over there and shot a video, and that was that. I went where he shoot his videos at. I went right over there and shot some scenes like I was gonna do them that night. The night I was that one night. It was just more of a thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's gonna get backlash, because never anything you do is gonna always be some shit like a motherfucker go talk about. You know what I'm saying? But
even if it's just a tiny bit offensive, the fans are gonna make it more than it originally was, right?
Yeah, they always, like, basically they talk shit like, oh, you ain't never did nothing, or you ain't gonna go over there. Then when you go over there, oh, you stupid, you went over there, what happened to you? Look what happened to you last time. You're trying to get yourself killed, and you know what I'm saying, all this shit. Like, nah, I'm not finna get myself killed. I know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I just that one night I just happened to slip up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy the shit that people compare it to, because I can't remember every time that Vlad has brought up your shit, but one thing that I compare it to, or that I think he might have compared it to at one point, there was a kid in LA, this kid Block Boy, with 2 C's in the block, and he basically was on a campaign for a while. I don't know if you know about this, but he was violating every hood in LA, pulling up to all the worst projects, neighborhoods, and just doing these little videos, talking shit, making fun of people who got killed over there, yada, yada.
Wow.
He starts getting a little bit of a name for himself doing that. Boom, they kill him. And, you know, but he was really going out there. He wasn't a rapper or nothing. He wasn't a gangbanger. He's just going to people's hoods, disrespecting. And when that kid got killed, I don't know if I ever saw one RIP. You know, like, nobody gave a fuck, because he violated the protocol that, like, runs the whole city, that, like, you don't violate these blocks. You don't talk shit about it. It seems kind of unfair to, like, compare what happened with your situation to that, even though I feel like to some people they sort of, like, conflate the two things of, like, you were really going there and saying, nah, fuck this whole neighborhood, and some hero came out and shot you or some shit, when it was really not like that, right?
Nah. At that time, honestly, he wasn't. At that time out there, he wasn't even had seminary like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That his whole little campaign really blew up after that situation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He kind of really blew up after that situation. He already was, like, starting to do, like, doing certain things, but like I said, in Oakland, like, I started flossing, and you know what I mean? Like, I was the boy having all the Euro whips, all the Bentleys and Maseratis, and doing all that shit. So I've been done that. Been there, done that. So, you know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm not hating on that dude's success, you feel me? I'm happy for him, you know what I'm saying, putting on for Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I'm still putting on for Oakland. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing my thing. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's like, it's just something that happened, and it's a lot of politics that ended up happening for that situation with, you know, like, you know, with artists working with each other and different stuff like that. So it's more of a situation with me, like, all right, I'm gonna kill the beef. Like, we all trying to, like, we basically, everybody, like, you know what I'm saying, kill all the beef and the politics. So, you know what I'm saying, everybody in the city to just, you know what I'm saying, rock out and try to, you know, try to make something out of Oakland, try to get these kids to you know what I'm saying, to be able to be mainstream artists and be successful like me and do, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, from Oakland, out of my generation, you know what I'm saying, probably one of the, between Mr. Fab and a couple other people, I mean, from Oakland, I'm talking my generation, it ain't really nobody that really was that successful out of Oakland. Only a few of us.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, pretty much, I had my success. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was all over radio, all over TV. I done did everything there is to do as a rapper, as an artist. I've done everything, and I'm continually doing things and climbing to higher heights.
How did it fuck up your motivation to make music, or how long did it take before you felt at home again on the mic? Like how did that process go?
it was instant. I went right back to making music. Music's my therapy. Music is what keeps me going. Like music is what really keeps me going. You know what I'm saying? As far as I always want to create like you know what I'm saying, just doing everything, putting it out there, working on stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just starting like me and my producer over there at DC. We cook up from scratch. We cooking up from scratch, cutting samples, doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just been on that, and then I got my little other artists that's part of Ice King Music, BFA. We still still doing our thing, and I'm always out trying to help other artists come up in the game and help other artists out. You know what I'm saying? I always been cool. I ain't never been a dude that's been cocky or nothing like that. I always been a cool dude and somebody to reach out to. Especially like people who are paralyzed, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations. If they hit me up on Instagram and DM me or something, I see it, I always take the time out to talk to them and respond to them and stuff like that. And also go out to different places and talk to people who are paralyzed and, and be a motivation. Right now, my whole thing now is being a motivation. You know what I'm saying? People seeing me doing this video with you is a motivation to like, oh, yeah, he with Adam 22, he no jumper, you know what I'm saying? He doing his thing, and it's motivation, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't see too many people in wheelchairs, rappers in wheelchairs out, really just, in mainstream, doing their thing.
Right.
So, like even with Keak da Sneak got paralyzed and shot.
And how many years after your situation was that?
He got shot in 2017.
Okay.
And so like his first little show back, I went with him and, made him get on stage and go do his shit, you know what I'm saying? And got him back rocking, you know what I'm saying? And I gave him a lot of game and told him with the stuff to expect, and, we talk on the phone, we talk on the phone a lot, and, discuss, different stuff about what's going on with him or what's going on with me, and there's the different situations that we got going on that we deal with. You know what I mean? I got this thing called starting up is called Hip Hop with Disabilities. So I'll be looking out for that. Really, I just want to put a spotlight on that, and Hip Hop with Disabilities is not also just physical disabilities, mental health, and everything like that too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people that has mental health issues also, and don't have nobody to talk to, or do different things, or ain't want to kill themselves or some crazy stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So I had made a post where I was saying I'm about to kill myself, but I was playing like, and I said it at the end of the thing, like I'm telling them to hit the suicide hotline and all the stuff. But people really thought, because people don't pay attention and listen to everything. Right. They start really thinking and saying that I'm about to kill myself. And so I had a gang of people hitting me up, and I'm like, nah, I'm doing this to help somebody out. Other people out to do things like that, but I'm just tapping into more, just into everything, man. Just tapping into the whole mental illness thing, and the disabilities, and just trying to be a booklet information, just to let people know, you know what I'm saying? Life is good. It's good to wake up, man, and live life. And
because I'm curious, like how your mental health was affected through going through the process of realizing you were paralyzed and everything, because you must have had to really adjust a lot of your expectations in life, for a lot of the things, a lot of your plans, a lot of how you view yourself. A lot of that stuff kind of changes once you're in the wheelchair, right? Like, as far as how your mind was doing through all that, did you go through a lot of these like real depression? Did you get depressed? Did you go through these cycles? It's got to be hard to just go through that and jump right back into hustling and grinding like it was the same, right?
I kind of went back and was on my grind.
Right.
I mean, me on my grind, and me being on my grind is like take me away from even thinking about it. I don't even think about being paralyzed. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, like a lot of people, okay, so say for instance, right, a lot of people, like me, before I was paralyzed, I be in the bed. I used to be in the bed a lot, watching TV or doing my work, doing what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So now that I be in the bed, I be in the bed, it don't really bother me. Sometimes when I'm in my wheelchair or my scooter or something all day, I be sore as hell at the end of the day, being in that shit all day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like today, I'm gonna be sore as hell when I get home because flying on the plane and doing all that, I'm gonna be tired as shit. You know what I mean? Body will be hurting like hell, but you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's like sometimes to be able to just chill and lay in the bed and be comfortable is cool. You feel me? So, and then also, sitting in wheelchairs and all that for too long and stuff, you can get bad sores. I mean, like sores and shit like that. You gotta be, watch out. I got a good Tempur-Pedic bed and I'm good. Don't have no bad sores, none of that. And so, I mean, honestly, I try to keep from stressing and not really. I try to if I feel like I'm stressing about something, I try to think about something positive. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm dealing with other situations, as we speak, and I just always try to take my mind and think on something positive.
Right.
Because it's always something you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta turn them two negatives to a positive. You know what I'm saying? So
it's because life is all about how you view it. It's like you could very easily wake up every day and think, fuck, I'm in a wheelchair, etc. Or like you said, you could wake up and think, I get to see my kids grow up. And if those bullets hit a little bit different, if the bullet went a couple inches to the side, then I'm not here. And I don't get to see my kids grow up. It's like, that's something so massive to be thankful for, even in the face of dealing with, obviously being paralyzed, one of the worst injuries that you could deal with. I mean, the fact that you're still here, and I got a shitload of friends. I'm sure you got a shitload of friends who got killed, overdosed, etc. It's like the fact that you still have the opportunity to do all these things is, it's kind of incredible.
Exactly. I mean, it make you. What really like honestly, that made it the easiest was to know that I died. Knowing that if they would have waited for the ambulance, I would have died. Because as we all notice, when you see all these rappers getting shot, they're dead on the ground. They're on the ground still alive, but guess what? The police trying to talk to them. As they said, Nipsey Hussle was still alive after he got shot. They said for 30 minutes or something. But why wasn't he rushed to the hospital? Or was he? I don't know. But that's the thing. When it comes to dealing with black and brown people, I can't even see black and brown people. I say everybody, man. The police don't care about nobody's shit. They just leave you there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing nothing. And the ambulance will not go. The ambulance will be right a block away, but they can't do nothing until the police come. And sometimes
just because it's a crime scene.
Yeah, because it's dangerous. And then another thing is the police is not gonna come in the crime scene until they have backup. You're not gonna see one hero cop go in there, somebody got shot, and go run up and go try to check on the victim. They more likely to go chase after the criminal. Because when they get to you, all they trying to ask you is what's their name, who did it.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So I would tell anybody out there, if you get shot, one of your friends gets shot, do not wait for no police. Take them to the hospital. You better off saving them. You taking a chance. They're better off for you to take them. Because if you wait on the authorities to come, their chances of dying is real, you know what I mean? Because it might be a lot of people still here if they wouldn't have waited on the ambulance. I know stories of people. I used to be, I was part owner of clubs. This club was a popping club, Club 17 in Oakland. And two two dudes shot each other. Boom, boom, boom. And two dudes. It was a total of 3 dudes that got killed. Got shot. One of the dudes who shot himself, his people drove him to the hospital, and then the other 2 that stayed there. The police was on the corner and drove off, and it took about 20 minutes for the police to come, for them to come there. The dude already had passed away.
Wow.
They saved the one dude, and he was alive for 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How does this change, like when you meet younger artists, or when you see artists who are still in the streets or whatever? Like, how does it change how you talk to them, or what message you want to get across to them?
I try to get across to them, like, man, that life is precious. Like, you don't need, like right now, like right now with one of the dudes that I'm talking to, I see getting all these views, and he got the potential to he got the potential to actually do something and make some money, because he gathering a following. But it's like, you need to kind of change up what you're doing, but still do what you do, but just kind of switch it up about try to get it away from being, tell your stories, but don't tell the story. Don't make these stories be so true to where you're beef, like your beefs. Like, get out of those beefs.
Right.
But just still tell a story, because that same story that you telling, people gonna want to listen, because they probably might think it's a real story,
right,
but it's you making it up. You know what I'm saying? Tell that same story, but not what you doing.
Yeah.
Change it up. And that's my thing that I be, talking to these youngsters and trying to tell them, like, when I talk to them, because like our generation, like my generation coming up, we were able to kind of like do songs with the past generation. If you notice, like a lot of the artists that came from the hyphy movement and artists past the hyphy movement, we still do songs with Too Short, Yuck Mouths, and all of, Bay Area, the Bay Area legends or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And now my generation, we're not really doing songs with these younger artists. Like, it's kind of like this in packs. It's not like the Bay Area sound and music is not the same. It's not the same no more. Like,
and like Oakland more divided than ever.
Yeah, Oakland,
the whole
it's just divided.
It's like, I've had artists in here where I was kind of talking to them like, do you think there could ever be an artist who fucks with people on both sides of shit? And they're just like, no, like, it ain't happening. Unless you're completely. They were like, if you're a white boy, maybe if you're like a Mexican type rapper who don't necessarily affiliate with like maybe, but in terms of like the average rapper, it's like it's more divided than ever. They can't even you can't touch both sides at the same time a lot of times.
Exactly. That's the problem. Me coming up as a rapper, we was all together, and Mob been making money. You know what I'm saying? These dudes can't even do shows because they'll get shot up. I can still, I'm still able to go tour and go get my money. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that they can't. That's the worst part of that's the worst situation. Like, they can't even really make no money. Like, you getting these views on YouTube or whatever, but YouTube. I mean, you got to have a podcast for people to be listening to you, watching it for a long period of time to make some money. But a quick video, you're not finna make no money on a quick video. You know what I'm saying?
You might get a name on YouTube / in the streets / whatever, but I mean, are you really like building a business or a career?
Exactly.
Not so much a lot of times,
Yeah.
That audience is there to hear you do one thing, violate the other side of town, et cetera,
and waiting for somebody to die.
That's a sketchy thing to build a career on top of.
Yeah, very sketchy. Very, very, very sketchy.
It just occurs to me that like the young kids, it's so impossible to make them understand, to think long term. There's been multiple times where I pulled up to people's hoods and shit, and like I see right on Front Street, you got all these big, strong dudes with crazy tattoos and drugs, whatever. And there'll be another couple guys who are in wheelchairs. And it's like, there's a part of me that wants to like tell these dudes who think that they're fucking Superman, like, bro, like, you do not want to, like, you can't be this way forever. Like, you got your homie right there in the wheelchair as a sign of what's going to happen to you if you keep playing around with this. And that's like if you're lucky. That's if they don't get a headshot. Exactly. And it's hard to like get that through to kids. They all think they're fucking invincible, and we were both the same way probably.
Yeah, exactly. See, out here out here they probably see it more like more likely seeing people in wheelchairs and stuff like shit like that. In Oakland, I don't know. In Oakland, I mean, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that get paralyzed. But then people really know. Like, you gotta think about it. Like Oakland this year, we got like the most murders in a long time. We like well over 100. But think about, so we got 100 murders. Think about all the shootings that we done had, and they missed. And the thing about it is if they using hollow tips, the hollow tips is what most likely paralyze you, because when the hollow tip hits you, it spreads. So, and that's what the first bullet that hit me in my neck did, is spread it.
Damn.
And so, but I don't know what would have happened if it didn't do that, because it went through my neck. So and barely missed my jugular. So, but when it spread it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? They like, it barely almost missed my heart too. So, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It just did what it, you know. God has His plan. It is what it is. But it's crazy. But like, you know, in the Bay, you don't really see a lot of people in wheelchairs. But there's a lot of people in wheelchairs because they're not, you know, not coming outside. And then another thing is, what people don't know is that when you get shot, a lot of people, these dudes that's getting shot, their family don't got money in the hood. They don't got no money. So if they stay in an apartment that got stairs and all that, they don't got nowhere to go. So they may end up in a rest home.
Damn.
Because they don't got nowhere to stay. You know what I'm saying? You know, lucky for me, I have, you know, a big support system. I'm able to, you know, live comfortably, so, and do what I want to do. But it's other people not so lucky. I came up across a dude that was paralyzed and been at the he was at the little thing at the there for like 2 years. Cause he was just, you know, when I was going there to the little rehab, he was just showing me some stuff, like, you know, showing me certain things on how to, you know, how to get in my wheelchair easy and different stuff. And you know, he had been there for literally like 2 years, because his family was waiting to find a place that was accessible for him. Wow. That didn't have no stairs to get in, because where they had stayed at had stairs, and they didn't have enough money to move.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
Some real shit.
Yeah. So I'm just, you know, my thing now is just to try to just keep the message out there, and at the same time, I'm still doing my music and doing what I do. Right. And you know, I have a solid fan base, so I'm able to make a decent income and whatever, and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Doing my music, and, you know, everything opening up, so shows is coming back and all that. So yeah. You know, so
and if you're making $1 million off a Saweetie record, then that sounds like a pretty decent income.
Over some time.
Over some time, but still, you know,
it could be faster. You never know.
Right.
But just from how they was analyzing it, was like, yeah, you probably could make about $1 million off this over the life of it, just off the life of the syncs and the movies, because it's all these movies. So, you know, movies, you get paid forever for that shit.
Pray for Saweetie. Pray her career goes great, and then you'll be eating good forever.
Yeah. Thank you, sweetie.
What's the stuff that helps keep your mind on track? Whether it's like things that you do in your current day to day that helps keep your mind focused, or is there certain things you tell yourself? Do you have a belief in a higher power or something? Like what is it that helps keep you on track, especially with the case hanging over your head, the shit that you're dealing with now? I mean, what keeps you aligned?
I just have you know, like I said, I'm deeply rooted with my family, and you know, I pray to a higher power, and you know what I'm saying, and at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I'm here for a reason. You know what I mean? I'm here for a reason. And at the end of the day, I just don't worry about shit, man. I just live my life, and I don't stress myself and overthink things and just trip off small stuff. Like, I see people tripping on small stuff, and like, man, the world is a whole lot of way bigger. Like, I always tell people, man, there's always somebody in a worse situation than you. and stop tripping on this petty shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And my main thing is just not tripping on no petty shit and just being around people that, you know, love and care for me and just, you know, live my life and be chilling, you know what I'm saying? Corona kind of messed it up as far as, you know what I'm saying, being able to just go out and do more things and not, because I'm not really trying to catch it. I ain't trying to catch it, so I kind of like always kind of like stick around the house. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said, my main thing is being able to do my music every day. Kind of my music just take me into another world. And then also, I know that what I'm doing is something that's gonna outlive me. You know what I'm saying? And my kids gonna be able to eat off my success. So that's one of my main things was always to be able to say, to build generational wealth and be able to make sure that my kids and shit that my name be able to live on and you know, make sure that my kids is good. You know what I'm saying? So that's the main thing. Just continuously put out music and you know, continually collect those royalties and have that shit going out there and just, you know what I'm saying, just keep my name living on, you know what I mean? That's kind of like how I feel about it. Is like, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of people would love, artists would love to have been able to do the things that I've done. And so I don't take it for granted that you know, that I come from a place where people really don't make it in music, and I've actually made it. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, I think about that all the time. It's like people don't make it. Because I have people coming up to me like, man, what I gotta do? I'm like, man, I done did thousands of shows. I done did all the type of stuff. Like I couldn't imagine going back and doing all the stuff that I did. You know what I'm saying? I used to go to the club 6 days a week for years straight. You know what I mean? So, but you know, just on a day-to-day basis, then music is my therapy. That's the biggest thing for me, is just being able to go. I got my fast studio at the house and able to just zone out,
right?
And chill my boy DC. You know what I'm saying? Making the beats and stuff, and you know, I'm giving the ideas and we putting it together, and you know, and you know, being able to say that I have people that tell me on a day-to-day that they look up to me and that I help them get through the day,
right?
That I inspire them. So all these people that tell me these things is what make me keep going harder and harder, because I know I got people out there that's dependent on me to help them. So
I mean, it's definitely an inspirational story. Just everything you've been through and the fact that you still have such a positive head on your shoulders. I mean, I can't help but feel kind of moved by everything that you've been through and the fact that you still have such a good mind state.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know. It's just me.
I also feel like you look flyer now than before you got shot. Like the hair, the chain, the fucking designer. I feel like you seem like you're getting money. You look like you're getting money.
Yeah. Yeah, the music is doing good.
For sure. Okay, so for the people out there that want to stay up to date on everything that you got going on after this interview, what would you recommend for people that want to stay in touch with your career and everything? Instagram, obviously.
Yeah, Instagram, Kafani, Kafani. And then, you know what I'm saying, just go look up that music. Go to YouTube and search Kafani. You'll find out a lot of stuff. You'll see a lot of, like, I done worked with everybody in the industry. Like, people don't really know. Like they like I'll play a song for them and they be like, damn, that's you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people get me mixed up from the Fast Like NASCAR Kafani.
Right.
They don't know that the Fast Like NASCAR Kafani is the She Ready Now Kafani. That was a song I had came out with She Ready Now, and Gucci got on the remix, but it was a super big song in the Bay Area.
Right.
I had big songs down south that didn't even play in the Bay Area. You know what I'm saying? So I done a lot. Like, you know, when Ozone was around, I was always in the Ozone magazines covers and doing all type of stuff. And you know, for my jewelry, I was in the Source or Double XL and Ozone, all the different for the chains and shit, you know, for the jewelry and all that. I done did everything. Rhapsody, the Basement, shit, man. Multiple videos on 106 and Park and all that, man. I done done it all. Like anytime I drop a video and I want to send it to the you know, BET jams, that I'm normally get at least a mixtape look or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I still try to tell people that YouTube isn't everything. People think that YouTube is everything. It's like, nah, bro. The radio still gets you. You still need the radio and different stuff. Like, you know, like locally in my local radio station, I probably done had like 20 songs on the radio. You know what I mean? And I had multiple radio songs down south, like songs on the radio on their big stations out there. And throughout that whole chilling circuit, I done had multiple, you know what I'm saying, songs on the radio out there and just moving around. So, you know what I mean? It's crazy because I don't have a lot of videos with millions of views, but it was just that when a lot of the music that I had put out was radio was bigger than YouTube. It's like people know the music when they hear it. It's like YouTube is like a more of a younger kid thing.
And
like,
we forget that during that era, a lot of times I'll go back to some song that I thought was legendary as fuck in 2011, and on YouTube it'll have like 1 million views, and I'll be like, oh right, the internet was like not nearly as big. Like that song was huge to us at the time, but having a hit internet song 10 years ago, it was not as big a deal. Now a big internet hit got like 100 million views or some shit, you know? Yeah,
but people fail to realize it's the listeners. It's not about the view. It's all together listeners. That's all it's really about. So if you got play on the radio, I mean, if you get played in a market like LA and you got the #1 song, just 1 week just 1 week getting played #1 on like Power is equivalent to 2 million views. There's 2 weeks there's 2 weeks at Power is equivalent to 2 million views.
And now you could be big on TikTok. You know, there'll be like the #1 song on TikTok, and you head over to YouTube, it got like 1 million plays. But it's like on every fucking video on TikTok. So it's like there's 100 different arenas that your music could be popping in now that all culminates together to make you a relevant artist, you know?
Exactly. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, my streams, I still get a lot of streams. I put my new music out streaming. You know, right now I'm working on a new project. Working on a new project called Suicide, and that project right there, I'm really finna go hard with the promotions and really just push it.
For sure.
I got a lot of deep music on there on this project, and so I'm really going and promote it and push it. You know what I'm saying, and make sure. I mean, I know what it is. I know what it is how to break a record and make how to make a record go. I mean, I know exactly what it is with labels and, you know, how you got to go about it and do it. So it's just a matter of how you want to do it. If you really want to just spend that money on marketing and promoting to take your music to where you want it to go, because that's all it is at the end of the day. Is just the marketing promotions of anything. It's just spending the marketing money dollars into it to do that. So you know, not always can go to, you know, go through Empire or what have you and use a team and put stuff together and do stuff and utilize them to help me push it, or, you know, however I want to do it. I mean, I know everything, you know, I pretty much know everything, all the basics, how to do everything to push a record, you know what I'm saying? So, and at the same time, it's just like waiting for that right one. You know what I mean? You know, it's just I know the formula. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because a lot of DJs in Clubhouse was talking. I was on there and a couple times, and then they was like, "Man, why you ain't making that music you was making in 2010?" Like the whole R&B and rap thing is like still is wide open. It's like all these dudes. It's like everybody right now is just they rapping about they rapping they sing rapping about guns and this and that, and you know what I'm saying, that lane for the females is still open. Like, why you ain't doing it? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, my head ain't been there like that. You know what I'm saying? But my head back open and wide, and I'm doing an array of different music. I'm not trying to be. I don't want to be stuck in the same class of artists that I always been. I want to try new things and do different, just doing different shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being known for one thing. You know what I mean? So, I'm just working it out.
Respect.
But I always get a lot of support whenever when I drop something and really get it out there. My thing is just make sure I got to get it out. I got to go out there and make sure I get push it. You know what I'm saying? Do some promotion. As long as I do some promotion, then I'm good.
For sure.
I get them numbers.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you telling us all about your story and everything. And it was very inspiring and really helps put life in perspective, to be totally honest. You've been through the fucking ringer and you're still going.
Yeah, man.
So much respect.
That's why I was like, man, I can't continue this beefing. I can't continue beefing with Filthy because it's like I'm trying to do these positive things, and so then it puts a damper on what I'm doing when I'm going back and going back and beefing and shit. But that's why it goes back to, when motherfuckers stay pushing that narrative out there, going back, it just bring you back. You know what I'm saying? When somebody, every time somebody mentions something about my story or bring it up, and somebody hit me with a link and I hear that shit, it's to piss me off.
You get more mad every time.
Yeah. But
I'm glad we could revisit the full story, the whole story, and really like flesh it out.
Yeah. Nah, it ain't. It wasn't nothing like no gangster shit or nothing like that went down. It wasn't nobody put no hit down. It wasn't none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, I can't even blame Filthy for the situation. I can't blame him. I mean, shit, I took my ass up over there and did what I did and I met up and ran into somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that was on what he was on, and I was on what I was on, and it just went down. How shit go down in the streets. You know what I'm saying? But I can't blame dude because dude didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, if it was really that serious, like if it was really like on like that, somebody would be dead or in jail by now. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't go just play with it. Like if it was really like that, it's gonna be like that.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's like after you get a certain age, it ain't really like that. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no bloodshed going on. So you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to kill him. He ain't trying to kill me. At least I don't think he's trying to kill me. So
right.
You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to kill him. So you know what I'm saying? So just leave it at that.
Respect.
Yeah.
Kafani. Check his shit out. Turn my man up on all social media, streaming services, etc.
Check me out. I got some good music out there, man. All y'all got to do is search. Bangers. Work with everybody in the industry.
For sure.
Yeah.
Shout out Kafani. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Patreon, OnlyFans, all that. Like, comment, subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want to support. Appreciate you. Much love, man.
There we go.